Hello, hello, dear friends. Oh, I see that you are already there. Thank you to the courageous one who are already there. Okay, so thank you to Susan. Hello, Susan. Hello, Isa. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Fabio. Hello, Abdelmegid. Hello, Joe. Hello, Claudine. Hello, Ternisu. Hello. Thank you so much to be there, my friends. I know that it's a long time because the 1st of May, I did not do I did not do a live in English. So, and I'm starting again to contact all my English followers of the past. So I hope that they will come numerous when I will have some English lives, some dozens of English lives, because I just finished a live in French, so it's a lot of work. I'm doing a lot of lives on YouTube in French every week, but I am trying to start again in English. So a very important thing is that the next live will be the Friday night. I am changing because in France and in Egypt we are no more inside our homes. So due to the COVID thing, so now I will start again to do all the lives in the Fridays. So next Friday, it will be the first Friday of the month. You will get a live in English, okay? So now we start again every first Friday of the month, and every last Friday of the month you will get an English speaking live from me at the same time for the moment. Okay, so I hope you don't miss it. You will not miss it. And we will start for the topic of today. But first, I wanted to say to you that we are the 29th of May, and this is a very important feast in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, it was the feast of Horus, Heru, listening to the prayers of the people in front of the nature. So it is the time to send your prayers, to pray and to send your prayers to Heru, to Horus, because it's a very good time for that, telling what you want in the world and what you don't want. So it is a very important time to do that. And also because the 13th of May, tomorrow, it will be the feast of Maat, driving Ra to Heliopolis. And this means that the harmony on the world will lead Ra, the sun, to Heliopolis, which is his place, his normal place. So normally it's a time tomorrow for the harmony of the world coming back. So it's very important to do the prayers today and then tomorrow to feel the harmony again in our life all around the world. You know, it's a very difficult time, but it's a time to be effective in our prayers. So I just see if there are other people now. Hello, Claudie. Hello, Nadia. Hello, Esmeralda. Hello, David. Good evening, David. Thank you, David. So, I will start with the topic of tonight, which is the iron plate inside the Great Pyramid. And I will tell you all what we know today about that topic, important topic. And hello, Roger. Okay. So, it is the story of the case of the strange metallic slab found in the Great Pyramid in 1837, sorry. On Friday, 26th of May, 1837, G.R. Hill, a member of the team of the famous British Colonel Vyse, in charge of cleaning the southern shaft on the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid, made an unprecedented discovery on the exterior of the southern face of the pyramid. So I just, in order you remember, this is the south face of the Great Pyramid, and we will talk about this hole you see there, and this is a boat, the ancient boat in the south face of the pyramid. But now this boat is not there, okay? But in a long years it was there. So this is the place we are talking about tonight. So more precisely, the object he found was deeply and strongly sealed into the masonry. In order to extract it, Hale had to use gunpowder for several days and not dynamite, as many authors wrote, since in 1837, dynamite had not yet been invented. Nobel, its inventor, being only 4 years old at the time. So it's not dynamite, it is gunpowder. Hill blew up 2/3 of the stones forming the entrance of the shaft. In doing so, he forever disfigured the southern face of the Great Pyramid by inflicting a large vertical cut. You can see, as I show you, at the 102 level of the Great Pyramid. Explosive, to say the least, Vyse and his team's methods were abundantly criticized, of course, thereafter. But it was too late. The harm was done. It must also be said for the record that Hale was really dangerous and never hesitated to go straight to the point to get results. During those days, he almost beheaded one of his colleagues, the engineer John G. Perring, who was in the King's Chamber right under where the shaft was exciting when Hill dropped a heavy stone in the shaft. So he was very dangerous in reality. It may be because of the incident we find neither Perring or his other colleague, the engineer James Marsh, on site when Hill finally managed to extract his finding. We can also add that Colonel Vyse, officer of the British Royal Guard, was eager to make rapid progress and discoveries. On one hand, he was in a fierce competition with the Italian Captain Giovanni Battista Caviglia, with whom he had a fallout on February 13, 1837, and parted with the Italian after using him and his excavation permit. On his part, Caviglia was making discovery after discovery. On the other hand, Weiss had to answer to his financial backers. We know he spent 10,000 English pounds for the year 1836-37 alone, which represented a true fortune at the time. And he still had not found anything. This delicate situation was used mainly to question some of the discoveries he made, rightly and wrongly, as we shall see later on. So Hill finally managed to extract the coveted slab. It's a metallic slab, 30.5 centimeter long and 8.6 wide, with a maximum varying thickness of 4 centimeters. Its weight is approximately 750 grams. We still don't know its function. Some have claimed, based on its fragmentary nature, that it was maybe part of a locking device, even if the shaft was larger, 30.5 centimeter by 23.3. But in that case, why was this object solidly cemented in the masonry? And why did not we find others in similar shafts? Weiss declared to the world he and his team discovered the most ancient piece of raw iron ever found. Just show you, I am sure you know already it, but I show again the photo of the metallic plate so you can see it. Okay, I try to, okay, this is the plate. You can see the hand, so you see the size of the iron plate. Okay, I think I have another photo. Yeah, this is a photo when he was sent to the museum. I will tell you. And the engineers, Pairing and Marsh, signed expert assessments and authenticity certificates stating the slab had been removed deep inside the masonry with great difficulty and explosives, and that no opening, crack, or passageway had been found relating to the slab, and therefore the iron could not have been placed there after the construction of the pyramid, but rather during its construction. Weiss sent the object with the expert assessments to the British Museum. References and current location is Egyptian Department number 2433, 3rd Egyptian Room, case K29. A lot of silence and even accusation of falsehood welcome his discovery. According to the most lenient of his detractors, the iron could only be of meteoritic origin. We found very few pieces of meteoritic iron embedded into precious objects of the first dynasties. We will see that it was not meteoritic iron. You must know, general use of iron in Egypt did not occur before 1300 BC, and it arrived in the south of Europe only around 1100 before Christ, according to Hall in his book Note on the Early Use of Iron in Egypt. Yet, the fact this object could date from the time of the pyramid would mean this slab dates back to 3500 before Christ. Current orthodox dating of the pyramid. which could simply mean one of two things. Either the official dating of the pyramid is wrong, either the use of iron in Egypt is much older than previously thought, or both. We then understand why this object is so disturbing for everybody. It even questions the official dating of the Great Pyramid. Yet, we will quickly come to realize this finding is fundamental and presents all the guarantees of authenticity. The very serious, brilliant, and respected British archaeologist Flinders Petrie, I like very much, wrote about this slab in 1883 that not only were the receipts of the British Museum extremely precise, but that there was rust on the iron, a trace of numelite, thus proving the slab was buried for a very long time behind nummulitic limestone blocks and was certainly very ancient. Petrie added there was not the shadow of a doubt this piece of iron was authentic and used by masons during the construction of the pyramid. A war broke out between the experts, but the dogmatic assertion of classic Egyptology, according to which any iron used in the ancient empire could only be of meteoritic origin, it is to say, not transformed, because of its extreme rarity, could not hold on forever. Let's remind that if iron ore was frequent on Earth, it was much more difficult to work with than copper or tin, and its transformation process much more complicated than bronze. Indeed, in order for it to melt, 1535 degrees centigrade temperature is needed, but to forge it, a 1100 degree to 1150 degrees temperature is sufficient. Copper melts at 1083 centigrade temperature, and if tin is added, it melts at 900 centigrade temperature, and we thus get bronze. Now, if you multiply the carbon-14 dating process on iron, there is a simple way of verifying its meteoritic origin. The presence of nickel. Any iron of meteoritic origins contains a nickel ratio varying from 4% to 26%. Nickel is very rare in earthly iron ore, even if minuscule traces can be found in it. An analysis is thus necessary to know if the much talked about iron slab of the Great Pyramid is of meteoritic origin, or on the contrary, if it's non-ferromagnetic forged iron. But before dealing with the results of the analysis, it's interesting to note that these analyses were not really necessary, except for an ultimate verification. By the way, I can't resist bringing to your attention the perfection of the cutting considered as optical by specialists on the resplendent white blocks coating of the Great Pyramid. Some are still here and having crossed the centuries to testify of the builder's greatness. The coating originally covered the entire pyramid, transforming it into 4 magnificent, gigantic, and triangular mirrors. I am watching. Hello, Elodie. Hello, Joe. so there is David telling, well, in that case, where is that piece now? Did not they try to use it to date that building and, by the way, challenge all we think we know of these amazing people? In fact, I just said a little before, where is this piece of metal, and is the exact place in the museum, in the British Museum. Yeah. So I put the references, you can see it. I continue. It was calculated that the reflection of the sunlight of the pyramid was so powerful that it could be seen from the moon, exactly like a glowing star on Earth and visible from our planet's satellite, thus illustrating the ancient denomination of the Great Pyramid, Iret, the glorious light. Why was this monument made visible from space like a marker? It's a question worth meditating on, don't you think? According to Sir Flinders Petrie work, the error in the parallelism of the edges of these 16-ton alabaster coating blocks is less than 0.002 centimeter. That's to say, the precision of our most sophisticated optical instruments. The block's surface is perfectly plain with an error of 50 microns. Yet the exact dihedral angle between two blocks presents an error of less than 5 seconds. So each of the 25,000 blocks is a masterpiece of optical precision, similar to the mirror of the current American telescope of Mount Palomar. To attest of the iron slab authenticity, it would have been easier for some Egyptologists to study the precious corpus of writings left by ancient Egyptians. Namely, I am talking about Manetho, Manentot, great priest of Heliopolis during the 3rd century before Christ, and quoted by Plutarch. Among other things, Manetho wrote a history of Egypt in 30 volumes, which was lost in the Great Fire of the Library of Alexandria in 47 before Christ. However, some of these ancient historians' texts survived, and for instance, we owe him the dynastic repartition still effective today. Nonetheless, the fact regarding his writings is largely unknown. Manetho wrote that the 8 Memphite pharaohs of the 4th dynasty were all of a different race. He also wrote that very early the ancient Egyptians knew about the difference between ferromagnetic iron, which they called Mehit Ba, north-south iron, or Osiris bone, and non-ferromagnetic iron of meteoritic origin, which they called Set bone. The iron of meteoritic origin came from the dark realm ruled by Set, since it came from the sky or the night sky and was thus opposing the solar cult. It is impressive to see, thanks to Manetho's precision, the ancient Egyptian knew all about the difference between the geographical north, defined by the axis of rotation of the Earth, and the magnetic North Pole, located 1,000 kilometers from one another and still fluctuating. Let's note, for instance, The cult rendered to Memphis close to Giza was the polar cult of the real geographical north. Everything in Giza is scrupulously oriented towards true north, which is the cult rendered to Ta. The Great Pyramid is oriented on this true north with incredible precision. As a comparison in our time, the most precisely aligned monument to this north is the Paris Observatory. It's 6 minutes of a degree of the true north. The Great Pyramid is only 3 minutes of a degree of the true north. Moreover, studies have shown that in fact this 3-degree difference is probably linked to a shift of the terrestrial pole. This could also prove Khafra dating, or to a shift of the African continental plate. According to researchers advocating this thesis at the origin of its construction, the pyramid was perfectly aligned in this north, which represents an unrivaled technological feat. Whatever it be, the Greeks did not randomly give the first place to the Great Pyramid of Giza in their list of the 7 wonders of the world, the only one which managed to cross the millenniums and reach us. In November 1926 and April 1932, the plate was examined by Dr. Plenderleith of the British Museum Laboratory, who declared the piece of the pyramid consisted of a thin layer of iron metal covered with oxides. Dr. Plenderleith did not detect any nickel and thus concluded the origin of the iron was terrestrial. In 1989, another extensive analysis was carried out by Dr. El Sayed Al Gayer and Jones and published in the Journal of Historical Metallurgical Society, volume 23, page 75. This analysis was conducted on a fragment of the iron plate of the Great Pyramid of 1 centimeter weighing 1.7 grams. The results confirmed its terrestrial origin. According to the analysis, the plate fragment consists of several blades of iron varying in thickness hammered together, without any copper globule and with minuscule traces of gold on one of this oxided layer. Maybe the plate was originally covered with gold. Nevertheless, scientists confirmed the very advanced age of the plate found in the Great Pyramid. This analysis and the previous ones therefore underlined the incoherence in the dating of the pyramid. At the same time, it stressed the usiness of Egyptology's classic community sometimes. At the same time, it stressed the usiness of Egyptology classic community sometimes. Thus, it won't surprise you to learn an analysis of the plate was made in 1993. It was carried out by Dr. MacDonald, who aligned himself on the descriptive results of Al Gayer and Jones' analysis, except on the most important issue. According to him, even if its fabrication was very ancient, it did not seem to come from a high antiquity. And so, after being presented with several serious pieces of evidence, an insidious and convenient doubt is shed on the most intriguing artifact. But, you know, there is a translation of the text from Pharaoh Pepi II. Pepi II is 2278 before Christ and 2184 before Christ. This translation made by Wallis Budge in 1911 that mentions iron coming from Set, located in Set's forearm, and which transfers the power of the eye of Horus to the deceased. There is another text translated by Robert O'Connell in 1983, chant 148 in the coffin text, where it is indicated that Horus' conception resulted of a meteorite impact. I quote the text: "The explosion of a meteorite, the kind gods fear, Isis woke up pregnant with her brother Osiris. Yet since the ancient Egyptians considered the Ursa Major constellation as Set's residence, they logically thought meteoric iron came from there and was thus harmful since it was associated with the demon Set. That's why Set's image was forbidden in all temples, pharaonic tombs, and pyramids until Ramesses' time. But if meteoritic iron was placed inside a building, it would completely desacralize it. A very, very serious act. Meteoritic iron was taboo. So, if the iron plate found by Weiss truly dates back to the Great Pyramid's construction, whatever its true age is, according to the ancient Egyptians' logic, it could only have been forged ferromagnetic iron and not meteoritic iron. The Argentinian professor José López from the University of Cordoba, who wrote a book in 1974, Misterios Egipcios, in Buenos Aires, gladly quotes the builders of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem who were forbidden of using tools made out of such iron. I am quoting: "When the house was built, tailored stones and no hammer, axe, or any iron tool were heard inside the house while it was being built." Or this passage regarding the construction of an altar: "There you will build an altar for the eternal, your God, a stone altar on which you won't lay iron." This is in Deuteronomy 27:5. José López adds that if the use of wheels in the toys of Mayan children is well known to the archaeologists, the Mayan civilization avoided using them as well as iron because of the same taboo. So this slab is not this plate is not only the example of a very antique forged iron discovered in Egypt. In fact, the French professor Gaston Maspero found iron in a royal pyramid of the 5th dynasty in Abu Sir, as well as tool parts in Dashur. On his part, Petrie found iron in a warehouse of the 6th dynasty in Abydos. This iron was analyzed and was deemed as non-meteoritic, Later, George Reisner found iron in the Mykerinos pyramid. It turns out it was also non-meteoritic iron. Thus, the detractors insisted any meteoritic iron in Egypt's new empire was false. This means iron technology was well known in Egypt in very ancient times, even if the technology had a foreign origin, as some specialists suggest. Whatever it be, this iron presents a real dating problem. But there is more. There is a research campaign I have not told you about yet, which would revive the polemic. The Pyramids Carbon Dating Project, it was carried out in 83, 84, and led by the famous Mark Lerner, Egyptologist, and Robert Wenke of the University of Washington. Once more, this campaign was financed by Casey's Foundation. In your opinion, why have not you heard about the results of this campaign? Simply because these results are incredible and point to a much older dating of the Great Pyramid construction. Indeed, this project aim was to analyze the mortar used in Cheops. 13 samples of mortar of the Great Pyramid were analyzed, and the monument was dated from 3101 to 2853 before Christ, instead of the 2500 and 2400 before Christ, as the official dating states. Seven samples of Khafra pyramid were also taken, and average 2988 before Christ. Finally, a wood sample from the bark buried at the feet of the Great Pyramid gave, after carbon-14 analysis, a date of 3400 before Christ. Let us add that even older mortar could be found on the pyramids, as several restoration campaigns have been carried out across the centuries, and it's still possible the analyzed mortar is not the original one and came from one of these campaigns, as it was sampled on the exterior of the pyramid. There's evidence of Giza being much more ancient, and evidence of an advanced technology indeed exists. We shall continue presenting them to you in spite of the silence which skillfully covers them. So, my friends, I finished my article. My article was published in paper magazines in France, but so I am now answering the question. So I see Joe Archuleta is asking, Antoine, when was the Great Pyramid built in your opinion? I have a very different opinion, you know, because in fact, you know, I made a lot of research on the ground, on the terrain, with other people, with Egyptians mainly, and we found samples of much more ancient dating. But the problem is that, one, the laboratories in Europe don't accept samples, even if it's official, from very ancient, very ancient things. because there is a kind of, what can I say, a kind of omerta. It's silence, totally. As they don't want very ancient dating to go out to be official, you know. It's a very big problem. Why? Because it is questioning all what we know about dating, mostly in the Bible, in all the very ancient sacred texts, you know, and this is a problem. But you are asking my opinion. For my opinion, it's Great Pyramid is about 13,000 years old at least, and maybe it was built on another one before, you know, because we have samples of other pyramid built on one other order, you know, so it's very ancient indeed. Hello, New Odyssey. Hello, Aito. Enchanté. What about the process of this iron? I told it was several sheets, very fine sheets of iron with a hammer. I told it before. So, my friends, have you other questions? So don't forget that the next live will be the Friday in English. The next lives in English will be the Fridays, no more the Saturdays. So it's very important you don't miss that. No problem, well, you can hear it again. So, thank you so much for your presence today. And I hope you can put a like, please, because I have only very few people in English, you know. I used to do all my life in French and I have a lot of success, but I have only very few people in English for the moment. Giacomo Longato is asking, do you think ancient geopolymer used in the exterior of the Great Pyramid? Yes. I am sure Dr. Davidovitz is very right about that, but maybe not on all the exterior of the Great Pyramid. But in the first steps, yes, I'm sure of it. And we have the how you'd say that, the proportion, my English is very poor now. I have to practice a lot more. The components of the geopolymer, we have the list written by a scribe, and the stone where it is written, all the explanation of this kind of cement is written on a big slab that is in the Louvre Museum in Paris. We have all the components. Aito, you are speaking about other stuff for the moment. Joe, you have to hear again my live. I'm sorry, because I explained it at the beginning. No, it was not coming from the sky. This plate was ferromagnetic from the Earth, and I explained all the analysis and all what we found. Yes, the geological entourage also proves the site is very old. Yes, David. Yes, Giacomo, te puedo hablar en español también, ¿eh? Puedo hacer lives en español, pero no puedo hacerlo en todos los idiomas del mundo. You are Peruvian and think a super concrete was also used in Sacsayhuaman. Yes, of course, in Sacsayhuaman it was concrete also. Amandine, do you know where is Atlantis? Okay, you have to think about it. Okay, Joe. Thank you, all my friends. Thank you very much. And please put like on this video so it will appear on the Facebook and the YouTube of other people. So maybe the people will go to see. Thank you very much. We are only 27 for the moment, so please put likes. So a lot of other people will come the next time. Luke Grimm is asking a very important question. He's saying, has there been speculation of the function of the plate? Does its location give any clue? So we know that this plate is inside the southern shaft. It was found there, but inside the cement, inside the stone, not just, you know, so it was put there inside. So we don't know for the moment the function of the plate. The speculation was maybe it was part of a system to close the shaft, maybe, but we don't have any clue of that. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, well. But I hope we will find one day because, Luke, because, you know, for example, I was inside 43 pyramids. A lot of these pyramids not open to the public. And there are a lot of pyramids, smaller pyramids also, but not yet excavated completely. So we shall find something about that. I hope so. Also, I told in the live that Maspero found all the plate, iron plate in other places. And in Abydos, they found one also. So we will finish to understand this problem. Thank you, Luke. Please, you know, I will do live in English every Friday now at the same time. So please come. And thank you for the likes, please. Amandine, I don't think so for the moment. So thank you so much, my friends, and thank you again. And I see you next Friday, same time. I do live in English every Friday, first Friday of the month, and every last Friday of the month. Thank you, Luke. Bye. And thank you so much to be there. And thank you so much. Take care of you.